Um, Hi everyone, I hope I'm audible and welcome to the stream. And yeah, I'm here to answer all of your questions. This is an Ask Me Anything session, ask Radwan anything that you like. And I would first like to address the timelines, which that you have to follow if you're looking at the spring intake or the fall intake. Uh, if it's spring 2026 that you're targeting, you will have to start the process ideally 1 year before. So if you plan on flying out to the US or any other country in the January of 2026, you should have started the process in roughly about January, February of last year, and then get started with your GRE, IELTS, TOEFL preparations, identifying professors or mentors or managing reporting managers whom you'd like to get the LORs from, and then get done with your university shortlisting, then start with your SOPs, LORs. Application timelines for spring will range anywhere around July, August are typical months when you're supposed to be applying. Just to make it, logistically easy for you guys, ideally applying in the month of July would be ideal. If I have to talk about the fall 2026 intake, where every single university will have its intake, I would recommend starting off any time in the month of April or May. Get done with your GRE before the month of August. Spend three and a half good months on building your profile out, and then apply before November 1st. If you're applying to business schools, let's say you're looking at an MBA program or a business analytics program or an MIM program, ideally you'll have deadlines in the month of September and October. We'll have to apply earlier to them. So yeah, I'll be taking one-on-one questions from everybody. Please drop in your questions here, and we're more than happy to answer. We can, if anybody has any visa-related queries on the stream, more than happy to answer that as well. Guys, if you have any specific questions, you can type in here. We'll wait for about 5 more minutes. If there are no questions or attendees, we can stop the session. We'll just look into it once. If you guys could give me like a yes or a thumbs up for the ones, if you're in the process of visa, I would understand what kind of audience is here. I'm just trying to understand, if most of you are done with the process of apply to universities. We will talk about what universities to pick, how to go ahead with your curriculum, how to utilize the time there. Or if there are students who are not done with the application process, want to understand shortlist universities, I'll be taking those up. So just type in your questions here so that I understand what topics to cover, and I'll be able to personalize it for you guys. Yes. So California State University, Fresno. No, Radhakrishna, I would definitely ask you to avoid I would definitely ask you to avoid this university. There's a good chance that your visa might get rejected. Or it's a very lower tier university. California as a place is very, very good. I would definitely recommend you consider the UCs and not the CSUs. Right. Anushri is asking resources for GRE to get a 330 plus in 2 months. Anushri, we ourselves have started a GRE test series where there are about 7 adaptive real-time tests that you can actually attempt through us. We'll give you a login. If you take up our services, you get that. The objective of having that series is basically for the test scores, the delta between the mock test and the actual test to go down. You will also get the entire answer key then, so that you can identify what are the gaps in your profile. How do you have to strategize your uh, practice sessions moving forward, with section to attempt first. And apart from the sections, you'll also have to understand that if I'm spending so many minutes on so many questions, what is that doing to my entire preparation towards the end? So practice series is one. If you want me to tell you about a few online resources, gregmat.com is a good place. Magoosh is a good place. You can check out the resources from there. Manhattan 5LB is a very good book that will help you prepare in a very thorough manner. Uh, yeah, let's go on to the next question, guys. Shiva Sharan has asked that I want to pursue MS and CS for fall 2026. Currently have a GP of 8.15 semesters, two internships, virtual ones, and I'm yet to give my GRE and TOEFL. Do I have a good Shiva? Yeah, top 50 CS in the US is definitely a possibility for MS and CS. Make sure to maintain your GPA above an 8. Write the GRE from a test center. The score that you have to target is a 315 and above. If you fill out these, at least the top 50 universities will consider you, and then it will boil down to how you've structured and proportioned your materials. But make sure to maintain your GPA above the 8. Are there good MIM programs in USA or just no? There are really good MIM programs in USA which are STEM based. I'll give you a couple of names. I think Duke MMS is a very good program, Masters in Management Studies. University of Michigan Ann Arbor has a good program. Georgetown has a good program. These are really, really good MIM programs. I can at least remember 8 or 10 at the top of my head. Can consider USA for an MIM as well. And these, make sure if you're going for the MIM program, you're going for one that is STEM designated. For example, there's one that's offered by Georgia Tech as well, but that has not gotten the STEM status yet. So make sure you're going for a STEM program. Next question is, how is NCSU for computer engineering? Akash, great university, part of the research triangle. Have nothing to worry about. The curriculum also is very good. Location also on the East Coast is very good. Can go ahead with it. Srihari has asked which is the best university for MS and data science. Srihari, I don't think there's one answer to that question. I think there are a bunch of really, really good programs that you can look at. University of Pennsylvania has one, Michigan Ann Arbor has one, Harvard has a great DS program, Carnegie Mellon has a great DS program. So bunch of them. I don't think picking one would do justice to the others. But yeah, I think if your profile does make a is a fit for these programs and able to get in, all of them would make sense. Carnegie Mellon, I would recommend one of the best programs. University of Pennsylvania as a close follow. Saudin is asking us, I've decided to take the GRE, but I'm not sure how to prepare for it. I'm just doing GregMat Magoosh enough. Uh, Saudin, I'm not sure if you're a working professional or not. Ideally, for a student, it takes about 45 days. So if you're a working professional, I'm going to just double the time, assuming you're going to be able to give 3 good hours a day for your preparation. 3 months is a good enough time to prepare for the test. Start off with the verbal aspect. Don't have to, the strategy has to be to, don't have to go learn 5,000 vocabulary words. Don't have to have that level of vocabulary. Focus on just 2,000, 2,500 words, but understand the word end to end. Make sure your verbal is taken care of. 155 on the verbal and 165 on the quant with decent prep will get you to the 320 mark. Don't have to worry about it. Manisha is asking us how's the scope of Masters of Sustainability, Environmental Management. Again, green systems, engineering technologies, great energy systems, great program, Manisha. Scope is immense. I don't think the course is a problem here at all. UC Berkeley offers a great program. You can go for sustainability courses. Just want to understand, Manisha, what's your background like? Are you from a chemical engineering side? Are you from a civil engineering side? Where are you applying from, and why energy engineering in particular? Um, Apart from that, best unis for robotics. Um, Robotics, are you particularly looking at the US? For robotics, I would say Georgia Tech is very good, UPenn is very good, Johns Hopkins is very good. Again, understand that knowing the best university is not the end goal. How the university helps you, how's the curriculum at the university, are you interested in the research side of things, are you interested in the application side of things, everything matters. Southern schedule a call with us, we'll be able to help you with your specific questions. Radhika is asking us how is NYU Tandem for MS and CS. Decent program, Radhika. NYU location is great. However, for CS, the Courant school is much better than the Tandem school. But yeah, definitely a good choice. Can go ahead. Aditya is asking is an MS in computer engineering from Texas A&M worth in fall 25. Yes, Aditya, definitely Texas A&M is one of those universities where you can propel your career from. Again, Texas, great, not that great of a location, but the talent density at the campus will give you access to a very, very strong alumni network. Getting a job there is not going to be a problem. Very good program, very good curriculum. Can get into embedded systems, can get into VLSI, can get into all those specializations that you're looking at. Texas A&M is the place to be. You can go ahead. CU Boulder, MS in data science, good program, very good program. So that it's just that the location is not that good. So if you're confident with your own networking skills, can go ahead. Corner MPS Duke, I don't think I will be able to say what's exactly better because it also depends on the kind of profile that you have. I would recommend you schedule a call. Cornell, Duke, Booth, Northwestern, all are exemplary MIM programs. But I think I would need a little more background on your profile. Just randomly shortlisting universities will not get us anywhere. Does backlog affect your application? How many backlogs you manage? Again, very subjective question. Backlogs generally they are able to they're affecting your application typically because you're a complete stranger to the university and then you're submitting semester by semester transcripts to the university at the time of application. So you can't hide away from backlogs. They will see that this subject has repeated. So if you can get a grade or a top grade at the same subject while clearing the backlog, can make sense. If you have absent, or let's say if you had a backlog because you were absent due to health reasons, something you could mention that to the university. There are ways to get around it, but yeah, anything above 3 or 4 backlogs, I think affects your profile in a very very adverse manner. Is right state good for CS and masters? No, Pushpa. I definitely think you should apply to better universities. Good chance there'll be a visa rejection. So please be a little more careful with that. Radhakrishna Utica University also is not that good. Guys, I'm not sure where are you getting these names for the university for, and have to. I don't know if there are other consultancies out there in the market that are pushing you to these universities, but I would definitely not recommend you compromising on the tier of the college. Manisha, I would request you to schedule a call with us. Providing a random list would not make a lot of sense. I would have to understand your profile first and what are your goals. Log on to Gradwine and you'll be able to book a call for tomorrow. Today we're booked out. Yeah, Saudin, about for TOEFL guys, you do not need more than a week or 10 days to prepare. It also depends on how your background has been. So TOEFL, ideally basic English proficiency test. Reading, writing, listening, speaking should not take you more than a week to prepare, at max 10 days. So get done with your GRE first, and then you can get into TOEFL or IELTS. Ideal score in TOEFL that you guys have to target would be 100 and above. 100 out of 120, anything that beats that, you're good to go. After that, the university is not going to judge your caliber based on the score that you get. Abdul is asking us UC Irvine versus CU Boulder MS and ECE. Hands down UC Irvine, Abdul, just because of the location. Curriculum at CU Boulder also is very, very good, but in today's market conditions, I would definitely recommend your, at least for the ECE, right? You're looking at the West Coast. I think a lot of chip manufacturing companies are there. UCI makes a lot of sense. Gaurav is asking us CMU MISM versus UCI MCS. Depends, Gaurav. If you're looking at software roles, I think an MCS program professional masters would be good. If you have some work experience in the past, I would say CMU MISM also makes sense. I mean, you cannot go wrong here. It's just good or better, right? Yeah, so there are questions about visa interviews. So yeah, about the visa interview, guys, let me clear the air here. The essentially for the visa interview, right? The interviewer or the officer is trying to figure out if you guys are potential immigrants there. So basically, have your reasons sorted out. Give them straight, crisp answers. Think of it as having a conversation with the visa officer. Don't make it too complicated, right? So if they ask you why are you going to this university, you have to be like, I'm going to this university because these are the subjects that I like to study, and I've networked with so and so professor, and doing these subjects would get me these roles, which is a upgrade from what I currently do. Let's say they ask you what are your roles after you're done with your course. You could just say that you're planning coming back to India and then working in so and so company in so and so role. Make it very, very crisp and targeted. Don't give them vague answers, because that shows inaccuracy. That also shows that maybe you're just going there for the sake of it. But most importantly, the tier of the university is extremely, extremely important. Just by looking at the university and the tier that you're getting into, the visa officer might form a prejudice with respect to you moving to the US, or with respect to the decision of your moving to the US. So tier is very, very important. Everybody looking at a Utica University, or lower tier universities, Wright State University, I don't think these are good places. So again, which is best, IELTS or TOEFL? Understand that these are only language proficiency tests. Either is fine. IELTS, you have to get a 7 band and above. TOEFL, you have to get 100 and above. These are scores that you have to target. Anything above that won't matter. um, for let's get to the next question, guys. Yeah, so question is, which university is best for MS in data science, Northeastern or CU Boulder? See, tier wise, branding wise, CU Boulder is better, but I would recommend Northeastern if it's the Boston campus for a data science program, only because of the location. Location, because the tier quality wise, CU Boulder is going to be better, but location will matter at this point. So I would say Northeastern. If it's the Boston campus, if it's Silicon Valley or any other campus, don't even have to consider it. Again. All right, guys. Looks like some universities for moderate fee for masters in bioinformatics. Fees is something that you, again, universities in Texas, probably Stony Brook can be a good option. Harshita, Texas A&M can be a good option. Apart from that, CU Boulder can be a decent option. These are places I can look at. But again, the tier of the university for a course in bioinformatics is very, very important. I would also recommend you guys to look at the exit point and not just the entry point. So you can apply for scholarships. You can also look at places that have really good research groups. You can end up as TAs, RAs at the university, and that would essentially give you a 70-80% scholarship once you're there. So do your research thoroughly. Bioinformatics as a program is very, very good, but fees should be one filter. It should not be your entire, this thing. You could also look at a Purdue for a course in biotech or bioinformatics, might make sense. Um, CSU Sacramento not that great. I don't recommend California State universities as much. Very lower ranked universities. Most of them don't even require an SOP. I would definitely recommend you reconsidering your plans to go out. Um, Priya, I want you to give me an entire question. Information and bits and pieces will not work out. Please type it out in totality. I'll be able to read your comment and then answer you accordingly. Anushri is asking, I have a 9.13 overall in mechanical engineering, currently working with 1.5 years of work ex regarding MEM or industrial and how to make a profile stronger. Okay. So honestly, it depends, right? Why industrial would again get you into, Amazon or Tesla or roles like that. Again, into supply chain, operations research, supply chain, industrial production, managing assembly lines. All of this would be far greater. Optimization is going to be far greater in terms of the portion of the curriculum. If you're looking at industrial engineering, could be a great option for you. MEM again will get you into product management or supply chain or technology consulting, business analytics. So you have to look at the curriculum and then target. About making your profile stronger, I think a good GRE score, and at the end of the day, the narrative will make a lot of difference. So you have a good profile, schedule a call with us. We should be able to help you get into top tier universities. And I would recommend you apply to a mix of both of these courses. That's MEM as well as industrial. And depending on the final admit, you take a good call. For example, I would recommend Georgia Tech's industrial engineering over a tough MEM if you want to get into operations research. So those are things that you'll only be able to understand when you take focused decisions about what your goals are and how this particular university will help you. So yeah, I mean, Aditya, I've already answered your question. I think TAMO is good. If you're very confident with getting into better universities, you can wait for a year. See if you're able to see if you're able to uh, basically if you're able to defer your admit, you can do that. But Texas A&M is a good enough admit. I would have gone ahead with that. Next question is Harshita, that will be part of the shortlisting services because I cannot personalize it for each and every student here about which university will come in what tier. There is not just a tier with respect to the rankings, right? What is the curriculum there? What are the electives being offered? What is the flexibility in the curriculum? How can you utilize your credits more effectively? Multiple factors go into the picture. How is the industry developed around the university? What companies are headquartered there? How do you tap into the alumni network? What kind of a median salary can you expect? What will be the relevant ROI? There's so many different factors that we have to consider, Harshita. I don't think I'll be able to personalize your questions to a level where you get answers there. For industrial engineering, good universities for industrial engineering, Georgia Tech, University of Michigan, Ann Arbor, Texas A&M, Purdue. These are four really good universities. Honestly, I think that's your answer. Jitendra is asking us MCS at UIUC worth it or not given the current job scenario. Definitely worth it, Jitendra. You can go there. You have nothing to worry about. UIUC is one of the top 5 programs for CS. Great program. If you've gotten an admit, congratulations on that. Priya, with your current profile, I don't think it is difficult, but it will depend on how you're structuring your materials, how are you proportioning your experiences, where have you positioned your interests, and how did you transition seamlessly. So it will bottle down on the quality of your applications. I would The universities that you're targeting are doable, but doing a good job with your applications is very, very important. Your CGPA will only get the university to consider you, will not get you the final admit. So Schedule a call with us. We will take up your profile. Can help you getting into the universities that you're looking at. Does spring intake? Yeah. So majorly two differences between spring and fall, guys. Number of universities having a spring intake are going to be far lesser as compared to the number of universities having a fall intake. So you can't even understand, not even having the option of applying to so many universities is in itself a very big disadvantage. Second disadvantage is that there's a rule in the US that you have to wait for 9 months or complete 2 semesters before you apply for a summer internship. Most of the summer internships are out in the US in the month of May or June when there's a gap, when there's a break during the summer months. If you're going there in August or September, you're fulfilling that criteria by May or June, which makes you eligible for summer internships, which will give you an option to, which will give you basically relevant networking. That's one. Second, your internships can also convert into pre-placement offers for you guys. But if you're going there in January, which is the spring intake, by the time you complete 9 months, it's going to be September. General market would be running. Yes, there will be internship opportunities, but the quantum of or the number of opportunities in total available would be in comparison higher in the month of May and June. These are the two major differences. So, but at the end of the day, spring also can make sense considering the current, you know, market situation. Offsetting a bad time by upgrading yourself definitely seems logical. So, spring or fall, getting into a good tier university is far more important. Nishant, I would definitely recommend you go ahead with the course now. I don't think there's a particular disadvantage. We've spoken to students at Carnegie Mellon MCDS program, MISM programs. Most of them have gotten internships. The market is not as bad as it seems. Most of the people in the US at present who are saying that the job market is very, very difficult or who are finding it extremely difficult to find jobs also belong to a lot of tier 3 and tier 4 universities. So we obviously hear them more in comparison because the number is higher. I think CMU MISM is a very, very safe bet. Can go ahead with it, nothing to worry about it. Average cost to study in the US, especially for MEM, again depends, right? Johns Hopkins can go up to a crore. Purdue will restrict that same cost to 50 lakhs. I think average would be about 75 lakhs if you're looking at top tier universities. Um, what are your thoughts on SDSU for MSCS in terms of education? Vanchika, see, SDSU, underrated program, good program. Talent density is not that good, not going to be that high, but location wise, it's right where the jobs are. Think of it as a Bangalore of India. So, university is fine, course is fine, unless your profile is very, very good and you can, get a much better admit by leaps. You can go ahead with this. This is not a bad option, but I really don't know your profile to, comment in depth on that. Priya is asking, should I skip the GRE or no? I don't think you should skip the GRE, Priya. Definitely, you have to skip the GRE. I don't think you should skip the GRE. Giving that would give another objective number to the universities to analyze your profile better, will improve your chances of getting shortlisted. If you have the time, give the GRE. If you can't manage it, that is when you look at plan B. Uh, How to apply for scholarship and when to apply depends on university-based scholarships and external scholarships. Everybody will have a different deadline date. When to apply for fall 26, ideal timeline is before November 1st. You should be done applying. Um, how to convince the manager for LOR? Priya, again, if you've decided to quit, I don't think any manager can stop us. In fact, if you apply, tell them beforehand, you tell them that, I will ensure to train the next person well and I'll do the KT properly. I think they'll be more than happy to accommodate. Why do I want to go to the US considering the current situation? You don't have to consider going to the US. You're going because you're facing some sort of a ceiling effect here. You want to propel your career. The market there is a lot more welcoming. The starting salaries are a lot more, uh, I would say, very exciting. So that's why students go there. It is basically to get access to a market. Most of the work that you guys do here, irrespective of that being in software or any field, is a lot of work that's outsourced from the US. If you want to have access to top projects, if you want to have access to excellent research labs, you want to have access to the best faculty, in the world, you want to have access to a very, very good alumni network, US is the place to be. Is UT Dallas a good choice? It's a very average choice. I wouldn't say it's bad, but it's very average in its own ways. Chetan is asking us, is University of Missouri Kansas City a good university? No, no, it's not. It's not a good university. Very straight answer. Don't consider going there. When is the best time early deadline to complete application? Harshita, ideally before November 1st for fall, before July 15th for spring. When should we need to start approaching for RA and TA? Should we start before going there? Before going there, you're only so yeah. The question is interesting question, guys. I want all of you to hear it. When should we start approaching for TAs or RAs? Should we start on it before going there, or once you're at the university? You can start whenever you want, but ideally starting from a place here would hardly add any value, because for the professor in the US, you're a complete stranger who's texting them or emailing them from a different continent altogether. Being in the class, having that access, and then showing why you'd be a good fit will help you in conversion. Most of the TAs RAs are most of the TAs RAs are given to students only from the second semester onwards, once the professor has observed the trajectory completely. For Rishi, any suggestions for low GPA for HCI unis? I would say um, SJSU can be a good option. Apart from SJSU, RIT, Rochester Institute of Technology also can be a good option. Research based and project based course come under same duration? No, it depends. Some professional tracks are 3 months, 3 semesters long, whereas some thesis tracks are 2 years long. It depends from university to university. A lot of you will also drop the thesis once you're at the university. So even if you're applying for thesis based programs, you will have an option. You can talk to the academic counselor at the university and drop the thesis if need be. Is it possible to give the GRE TOEFL right SOP LOR by myself for early application deadlines in spring? I'm not sure if you have enough time for the GRE part, Priya. Rest everything can be done, yes. I don't know what quality will you be able to produce, but uh, you should be able to do the process by yourself if you think you're good at it. But July 15 should be the timeline that you have to follow. In the case you're able to give GRE, you end up getting a good score, I would recommend self-report the scores once you've gotten them. So apply before July 15th, and then let's say you're taking your GRE in the August first week, self-report the score. Wherever it's option, you'll have the option to self-report the score later. Um, Nishant, UWash also has a great program for MISM. Seattle, great program, great place. Have no problem with that. However, I would have picked CMU as well. Aim at AIML jobs, yes. Generative AI is where you have to be. Choose those electives and you should be sorted. For electrical and computer, I have no idea about your profile, so I don't think I'll be able to answer the question about what university makes sense for an ECE. I can give you a couple of good names though. For a EECS sort of program, I would say UT Austin has a good program, University of Washington has a good program, Cornell has a good program, NCSU has a good program, USC has a good program. It depends on what you're looking at. Self-report, Priya, means you're completing the application without giving the GRE, and then you're sending the scores, official scores to the ETS website to the university, and then you're also writing an email to the university saying that I've sent my GRE score, my application ID is so and so. So that they take that also into consideration. They've not analyzed your profile yet. 80 lakh is enough, including living expenses in general. I think again, question doesn't make sense. Depends from program to program. For MBA, the cost could go well above 2 crores. For an MEM, the cost could go well above 1 crore. It depends on the course. I don't think I'll be able to answer that question. Anything else that I have missed? The time's up, guys, more or less. Next 5 minutes, I'll be wrapping this up. So please post your questions here. 6:45, I think we'll close the chat and we'll connect again in a week or so. Please type in all your questions. I think I've taken up most of the questions. So anything else, type it here. I'll wait for a couple of minutes. If there are more questions, we'll continue till 6:45 or we'll end the session here. But it was great interacting with you guys. I love the questions here. Everybody's on the right path, considering the right universities. For the ones that have said, reconsider applying or things, please take that into consideration. Going to a bad university will dictate your career trajectory moving forward, will hamper your chances of receiving, will definitely hamper your chances of receiving good jobs. So I definitely want you guys to be very, very aware of this. What are other ways to get scholarship apart from TARA? There will be some universities, for example, there could be some need blind universities. You could also request, you can also negotiate your fee with the university if you have multiple admits in hand. You can tick the tuition aid box while filling the form. So, and while submitting the financials, also, if you can write another email to the university, that template is something that Gradvine will help you with. Our account managers will help you write emails and negotiate the fee with the universities if you guys have taken our services. I'm not sure how many of you have. So, yeah. Anything else, guys? Do not get a decision. Can I take fall 25 intake, right? Harsh, if you've already applied to universities, um, Harsh, apply to the US universities, do not get decision. I can take fall 25 intake. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not getting your question, Harsh. Could you please retype it or rephrase your question? I'm not able to understand what you're trying to ask. I'm from civil engineering. Can I go to data science course? My GPA is 8 and I have no experience in DS. Is it possible for this fall? Wouldn't really recommend that. If you're eligible, yes, on paper you're eligible because every engineer will have math in their 4 semesters irrespective. So, based on the prerequisites, yes, you can definitely apply to data science, but having some relevant projects or internships or full time work experience will help you at the exit point more. I would recommend get some work experience and apply to business analytics programs and then take up DS electives. That would be a better way forward. Any update on Harvard University current affairs? See, with Harvard, what has happened is they are in a tiff with the federal state there. They're not agreeing to the terms given to them by the president. They've frozen their funds. They're not allowing in them to accept further international students and stuff. But that's happening with only one university because there's some tiff going on between some issue going on with the management of the university and you know management of the university and the market, but I don't think that will have a domino effect towards other universities. Also, in the next month or two, that should be sorted because either Harvard will end up getting a stay order from the court or they will adhere to the rules given to them by federal court. This will not, however, continue in the longer run. This is only a temporary glitch, should not be a problem. Just a nervous question: are USA degrees worth in India? Just considering looking at bad market, they are definitely worth in India, but going there and spending in dollars, coming back earning in rupees might not be the best way forward. Vanshika, what I would recommend is, going there at least working there for a year and a half to paying back whatever we've invested already, and then coming back with a better network would immensely impact your job roles in India as well because that network itself might place you somewhere here. So at least have a plan of working there for a year or two. Harsh, if you're yet to hear back from the universities, if you've uploaded documents to the universities, I'm not sure what universities have you applied to, because for a lot of top tier universities, the applications were done by February 15th. If you're applying to bad universities, you should consider applying to the fall 26 intake. What about the students who are currently at Harvard? Yes, there has been a rule book that's come out. If they are filling out any of these three or five, if they're ticking any three or five boxes, they can continue to stay at Harvard. There will be again more on that in the coming days. But even if there's a small glitch, Harvard will reapply them or readmit them once things are sorted. So I don't think that's going to be a problem, Jayant. You don't have to worry about it. Any other questions, guys? All right. I don't see any other questions. I think I've taken up most of them. All right. You've been a lovely audience. Thanks for being there. Thanks for asking all these, very insightful questions. So, Lalit, I think you can schedule a call with us, discuss your profile, and then what is the best university and all, everything can be figured out then. No, Harsh, I think you should definitely apply for the spring intake, fall 25. Don't go ahead with the existing admits. UT Dallas could be your best bet, but not a great admit for civil engineering. Can definitely do better. All right, guys, I'll take a leave. We'll meet soon in the coming weeks. Somebody from Gradwine will continue to, engage you guys, have a word, help you in whatever way we can. We have a WhatsApp group as well. I don't know how many of you are part of the WhatsApp group. So please join that group as well, and we'll be happy to help you. You will always have an option to schedule free consultation calls with us. And yeah, all right, lovely speaking with you. Have a great weekend ahead. Bye bye.